is Joss, this is Fluffy, and this is Boo. Fluffy, are you savaging a crocodile thing stuff? And this video is basically a part 2 to my Cerebral Palsy video, which has now amassed over 1,500 views. So I'd just like to say thank you everyone for that. This video is also coming out now because this is the final day of anti-bullying week. Seems to be a bit of bullying going on there. And today, this video is basically about the types of bullying that are exclusion and inclusion. While exclusion may be more hurtful to you immediately, it may come across more as the standard bullying kind of tropes that you may come across. I'd argue that inclusion is almost to a degree worse just because of how patronising it comes across. Both of these things are things that have affected me at school and beyond. They've probably affected some of you, but obviously the negating factor in a lot of exclusion and inclusion, just people being really over the top, full stop really, has been my cerebral palsy. So to cover exclusion first, people don't even bother to ask whether you have certain abilities, and they just assume it's all based off assumptions and really a lack of knowledge, which is really why I made the last video. Because it's just a lack of understanding which causes people to make those sorts of assumptions, which causes them to exclude you by default. And this doesn't always happen to me. I mean, an example of inclusion and exclusion at the same time was, I remember in year 5, one of my friends' parents was making this go-karting party, and basically they had asked my mum 6 weeks beforehand whether I was okay to do it. They were considering changing the party if I wasn't okay to do it. They were willing to compromise that much, and yet they forgot about the 2 kids who actually couldn't have done it by safety requirement because they were too short, because they were below 1.25 meters. And they'd absolutely forgotten about them, excluding them by default, even though they didn't mean to, because they're very nice people. And while just trying their best to include me, I feel as though that prioritisation is a bit as well. But another example of inclusion where people, this inclusion thing, you may not have an idea of what I'm talking about here, but this is the over-the-top sort of thing of, we'll let you do whatever you want, we'll let you have your own way, or seemingly your own way, absolutely everything, and then everybody will be happy. This also comes into the thing of, people think that I will be offended every time they mention the word disabled or cerebral palsy, when I do not. Yes, it is not the only part of my character. Yes, I do have hidden depths, but I matter more than that. That's almost, and while it's not offensive, while I don't find it offensive, and some people do, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a fact. This really over-the-top sort of inclusion of me, as especially apparent with other students when playing football. Now, this happens when students are willing to compromise as soon as I go onto the football pitch, because, despite my disability, I still want to play football. Some people may tease, some people may taunt, but whatever, I'm still willing. But as soon as I get onto the football pitch, everybody just turns around and goes, "Joss, we're getting you a goal today. By hook or by crook, we will get you a goal today." Because they look, instead of to try and satisfy me, where I would actually be more satisfied if I just completed a sort of a successful pass or dribble for about 3 seconds, than actually have a sort of a fake goal where everybody just lets it in and goes, "Come on, Joss, you can do it. You can score an open goal." Do you know how horrible that feels? I know that people are only trying to be nice, but it gets to the sort of part where people just spend all their time trying to compromise for their own games, trying to almost make the game worse, less entertaining, just because of one person. Quite often that person, yes, it is me. And okay, so after Fluffy managed to turn the phone off by some minor miracle, well, I don't know, maybe that depends on how much you like the video, I wanted to cycle, but she's just too cute. So anyway, to carry on with my point, with the football side of things, with sports in general, because I think that is the most common area of sort of inclusion, exclusion, just people trying too hard to the point where it seems sarcastic and patronising. I'd rather, at the end of the day, I'd rather take one decent shot at a goal or make one successful pass than actually score one when it's been made out to be this sort of fake, too easy thing, just so because people think they're pleasing me to make themselves feel better. And I think another example of this, because this has a very much danger of coming across as sort of a student being weird to a student, but it also happens with adults as well. As I've already mentioned with the go-karting example, I remember in year 7 where one of my teachers was trying really hard to get me to go on this back to nature thing, knowing full well that I live on a farm. And it's like, you go to the Peak District, it's all green. You go to the Lake District, it's all green. I live in the Peak District. I get back to nature every single day. And like, I was a bit like, we will include you in everything. We will include you in everything that is possibly possible to include you. We will make it so different that it's practically not the same thing as what everybody else is going on, and not even similar. I think at the end of the day, I just want to be treated like my peers, for better or for worse, because I think there's a certain degree of authenticity that I'd like to get out of experiences, whether like you share the good times, you share the bad times, all in good fun. So anyway, I'd like to say thank you for watching the video. I'm sorry for the inconvenience caused by Fluffy turning off my phone. I will assure you that that won't happen again, will it? And I hope you have a great day. Bye!